Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. Tonight, I've got a spine-tingling story that will make you think twice about what you see in the shadows. Imagine lying in bed, almost asleep, only to find a mysterious girl standing in your doorway. Join me as we unravel the eerie tale of the ghostly girl in the doorway. Turn off the lights, get cozy, and let's dive into this chilling encounter. It started one night when I was lying in bed, just about to fall asleep. My bedroom door was slightly open, like it always was, letting a bit of light from the hallway seep in. The soft glow of the hallway nightlight cast long shadows that danced across the walls, creating an eerie ambiance. As I turned over to get comfortable, I saw her for the first time. A girl standing in the doorway peeking at me. She had long, dark hair that covered part of her face, and she wore a white dress that looked old and dirty, tattered at the edges as if it had been through a lot. I blinked, thinking I was imagining things, but she was still there. I sat up quickly, heart pounding so loud I could hear it in my ears. "Who's there?" I whispered, but she didn't move or answer. I rubbed my eyes and looked again, but the doorway was empty. The shadows continued their dance, but the girl was gone. I thought I must have been dreaming and lay back down, trying to calm my racing heart. The next night, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching me. I kept glancing at the door, expecting to see her again. Hours passed, and just as I was about to drift off, I saw her. This time, she was closer, her face partially hidden behind the doorframe. The hallway light seemed to flicker, casting an unsettling glow around her. "Who are you?" I asked, louder this time. My voice echoed in the quiet room, bouncing off the walls. She didn't reply, just stared at me with those dark, unreadable eyes. I jumped out of bed and ran to the door, flinging it open. There was no one there. I checked the hallway and the rest of the house, every corner and crevice, but everything was still and silent. The house seemed to hold its breath, waiting. I told myself it was just my imagination playing tricks on me, but deep down, I felt uneasy. By the third night, I was scared. I kept all the lights on, hoping it would keep her away. But when I looked at the door, there she was again. Closer this time, almost stepping into the room. Her eyes were wide, and her face looked pale and sad, as if she was carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. "Why are you doing this?" I asked, my voice shaking. "What do you want?" She didn't answer. She just stood there, staring. I felt a chill run down my spine, the kind that makes your hair stand on end. I wanted to move, to do something, but I was frozen in fear. Finally, I grabbed my phone and called my friend Jake. "Jake, I need you to come over," I whispered into the phone. "There's someone in my house." Jake arrived quickly, his face full of concern. I explained what had been happening, and he looked around the house with me. We checked every room, every corner, but found nothing. The house was eerily quiet, the kind of silence that felt oppressive. "Maybe you're just stressed," Jake said, trying to reassure me. "You've been working a lot lately." I nodded, wanting to believe him. But that night, as I lay in bed, I saw her again. She was in the doorway, watching me. This time, her mouth moved like she was trying to say something, but no sound came out. The light from the hallway seemed to grow dimmer, making her look even more ghostly. The next day, I decided to do some research. I went to the library and looked up anything I could find about ghosts and spirits. The musty smell of old books filled the air as I searched through the stacks. I found an old book that mentioned a girl who had died in a house fire many years ago. The description matched the girl I was seeing. I took the book home and read it carefully. The girl had been trapped in the fire and couldn't escape. People said her spirit still wandered, looking for help. I felt a pang of sadness for her. Maybe she was trying to reach out to me. That night, I decided to talk to her again. When I saw her in the doorway, I took a deep breath and spoke softly. "I'm sorry for what happened to you. Can you tell me what you need?" She stared at me with those sad eyes, and for the first time, she stepped into the room. She reached out her hand, and I felt a cold breeze brush against my skin. Her presence was both unsettling and sorrowful. "I want to help you," I said, "but I don't know how." Over the next few nights, she appeared every time I lay down to sleep. Each time, she seemed to get a little closer. I kept talking to her, trying to understand what she wanted. One night, she pointed to the book on my nightstand, the one about the house fire. I picked it up and opened it to the page about her. Her finger moved to a line of text, and I read it aloud. She was never found. Her spirit remains, seeking closure. I looked at her. "Do you need me to find you?" She nodded slowly, and I felt a chill run through me. I knew what I had to do. The next day, I started searching for information about the old house and where it had stood. I discovered it was not far from where my house was now. I went to the site, which was now an overgrown lot with nothing but rubble and old foundations. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. I searched the area carefully, looking for any sign of her. After hours of digging through the dirt and debris, I found a small locket, blackened by the fire. I opened it and saw a picture of the girl, the same girl who had been watching me. That night, I placed the locket on my nightstand and waited. When she appeared, I held it out to her. "Is this what you were looking for?" She nodded, her eyes filling with tears. She took a step closer and reached out, her fingers brushing the locket. A warm light surrounded her, and I felt a sense of peace fill the room. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice soft and clear. "I can rest now." As the light grew brighter, she began to fade. "Goodbye," I said, feeling tears in my eyes. "I hope you find peace." She smiled for the first time, a gentle, sad smile. "Goodbye," she whispered, and then she was gone, the light fading with her. I sat there for a long time, holding the locket. The house felt different, lighter, as if a heavy weight had been lifted. I knew she was finally at peace. From that night on, I never saw her again. The doorway remained empty, and I slept peacefully for the first time in weeks. I kept the locket on my nightstand as a reminder of the girl who had watched over me, and the night I helped her find her way. Sometimes I still think about her and hope she's found the peace she was looking for. And I know that, wherever she is, she's no longer alone.